As the election played out on November 3rd, some feared that voter intimidation at the polls was going to play a role. Some feared that armed Trump supporters or militia would make their presence known during the election, as they had in Kenosha back in August, or in Wauwatosa during its own curfew. During Wauwatosa's curfew, residents documented encounters with armed men who weren't police, yet traveled in groups and ordered them back into their homes. Even as the curfew ended in October, groups of trucks and cars sporting Trump flags could still be seen patrolling the dark and suburban streets of Wauwatosa, undeterred by the militarized police presence nearby. For the most part, though, Election Day appeared to be pretty quiet. Polling places in Milwaukee weren't overtly crowded, and things seemed to be running pretty smoothly. So right now I'm standing outside of Washington High School, which is in Milwaukee off of Sherman Boulevard. Back in April, behind me you would have seen very, very, very long lines because Washington High School was one of 5 polling sites that were allowed to remain open out of the 180 in the city of Milwaukee, and that created a giant influx of people who were forced to come here right as the pandemic was kicking off and everything, and they had to vote in person like that. There's a lot more polling sites open this time around, so some of that backlog, you're not seeing that right now. Everything seems to be going real smoothly here. The Milwaukee Police Department told the Wisconsin Examiner that there weren't any major incidents reported to the department that day. That being said, a local organizing group, BLOC, or Black Leaders Organizing Communities, encountered some troubles outside a polling place as it passed out PPE, snacks, and other supplies to voters.
We've been prepared for anything. We've made sure we studied Wisconsin election law. We made sure that all our volunteers were well trained and ready to go.
So, when the cops were called on a group of people affiliated with the organization Black Leaders Organizing for Communities, or BLOC for short, they say it was no surprise.
While people may try to intimidate us or try to stop us from making sure that people can vote, we're not worried about it. We're prepared for it, and you shouldn't be worried either.
Over in the city of West Allis, however, things were a little bit more contentious. Charlie was on her way to vote when she noticed that a local had parked their large truck waving Trump flags just a few houses away and in full view of the polling place.
3 houses away, 1, 2, 3 houses away from the polling location. That's voter intimidation.
The truck remained parked outside for most of the day and, granted, was on its own property. After hearing of more reports of intimidation, we went out to West Allis City Hall, another polling place, to see what was up. The line stretched around the block, but besides a van parked right next to the line, plastered with graphic anti-abortion material, everything seemed pretty tame.